Hey guys, welcome to the breakdown video of this, a really deep dive into all the people who are on the episode. So here we go. Let's check this out. Of course, we're on Zordnia. You can see that the moon is destroyed, and I wonder if this is a little bit of a nod to Rita having her base on the moon, or maybe there was a villain who attacked Zordnia years ago and now they were obliterated or something like that. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if they ever, uncover some more lore about that. Of course, this is where the Shogun Zords are from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Some people in the comments made sure that I knew that. I'm going to throw in a clip from one of my other videos that is talking about the drone shot here, because not a lot of people saw this video and I think it's really interesting. But if you've already seen it and you want to jump to this time, go ahead and do that now. But here we go. So we get this killer drone shot, guys. Dino Fury really started utilizing the whole drone shot thing, and then they also did that in Once and Always. Once and Always had that amazing opening shot with Billy. Izzy had this battle where she was fighting through a playground and the drone was flying like under things and around things, and it was amazing. So I really need to give a shout out to the people who do this. Obviously, this shot is just the proof of how amazing their work is. Ryan Haste, he's the drone pilot. He actually drives the drone. And then Sam Peacock is the drone camera operator. It's pretty obvious that they work really well together because almost every project one of them is on, the other one is on. Just to name the big ones you guys probably have heard of: The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, that just came out on Amazon; Dynasty Warriors, which was an awesome movie; the live action Mulan movie; The Meg; Ash vs. Evil Dead. And I really don't want to blow past this whole thing because honestly, it's really added so much. It's almost like they've given Power Rangers its own style, up the production value, with still maintaining maybe sort of a minor budget. Because Power Rangers, again, guys, we're not talking Marvel money, we're not talking Star Wars mummy, we're not talking Star Wars money. We're still a very small operation, the whole Power Rangers show. I'm not on the show, I shouldn't say we. They have to work with a small budget and they have to move through content very quickly, and these drone shots have been incredible, just absolutely incredible. And this one is one of the most incredible ones I've ever seen, especially on Power Rangers, but just in general. These drone shots are not great on accident. Sam Peacock, the drone camera operator, has experience doing directing. He started out in 2006 doing a bunch of different bands' music videos. These are a lot of the like New Zealand bands in the area that were the Mint Chicks, King Kapisi, Blind Spot, the Czechs, and the Adults. In 2010, he wrote a short film, which, guys, I'm horrible at English. I have dyslexia, so I apologize because I really don't know how to pronounce this. Manuewa. I hate this so I can't. It's not that I'm uncultured. Well, it's probably because I'm uncultured, but I can read music better than I can read just English and oh man, I'm so sorry. But anyway, one of the actors in that short film is named Hera Dunleavy, who actually was in Power Rangers Dino Fury as a Rafkonian representative in the Ancient History episode. Ion reveals that they actually were the ones who made the spore. Zato had a chance to stop it, but he didn't. That's the type of deep dives you're getting on my channel, I'll tell you that much. I waste way too much time. Why do I look into every single actor that's ever been on these people's projects? I don't know, man. But also directed a movie called Shihad, Beautiful Machine. And then in 2016, it seems like that's when he really got into doing the aerial camera stuff. Now, Ryan doesn't have a website or anything I can really find to look into his career more. He has a website connected to his Instagram page that's called Aerial Camera, and it looks like this is a company that maybe him and Sam do, or maybe there's more people, but everything they've done on IMDb is listed on this website, so I assume maybe this is their production company or their crew they work with. I don't know. But where Sam is definitely a director by heart and can apply that to his camera work, Ryan is definitely the tech guy. I mean, on his Instagram page, there are tons of pictures of the development of drones they're working on and things that he's doing. So you can tell he really nerds out about that stuff. He's definitely got this down pat. By the way, I'd love to interview you guys. If you guys ever see this and you want to do an interview, I would love to do that because I'd love to talk to you about what you've done for Power Rangers and just how you guys have kind of built this career. So back to this particular shot, this actually reminds me a lot of some of these Sentai movie crossovers they would do where they'd get like 5 different teams together, and especially in the old ones, they would do these big shots where they just kind of keep moving the camera, and even though it wasn't a drone and they had these big choreographed fights, that they would just keep moving. They didn't really cut to this and then this and then this, and it would be really interesting to have seen this type of thing done with the drone in the Legendary battle. I know that would have been a lot more work, but all the cutting back and forth, it's just so choppy. This is such a cool all-in-one shot that gives you a little more of that old-timey Power Ranger nostalgia. Like in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, they would have fights without their suits, and they would really just be continuous shots. They wouldn't cut as much in between. Now that there's less people who do fighting, it's pretty much like cut, stunt guy, and it's just very, it's a lot of that. So this is a really cool shot. I think it's bringing really the feel of Power Rangers back, like the original feel of Power Rangers when people were kids. I think this is a positive thing. There's certain things that they don't need to go back in time and try to do like in the 90s, but this is one thing that I think brings a really cool nostalgia feel, but is also amazing. Zedd is morphed as what they call the Ghost Ranger. Now, specifically, he is not the White Ranger due to Hasbro not wanting to offend anybody. Wow. And I'm so glad that I can finally speak as a white man and tell people that I'm not offended by a black person being the White Ranger. I don't know why that would offend people, but okay. I don't know. Whatever. We are introduced to Squid Ink Inc. It's run by Bajilia Nair. That's very clever. Bajilia is voiced by Amanda Billings. You may remember her as Principal Hastings in Ninja Steel, which is familiar to her because she actually was a school teacher before she got cast in a play that one of her friends was directing, and then she really just kind of set off on an acting career, got a long streak on the show Shortland Street from 2006 to 2013. She was in 649 episodes and came back for an episode just this last year. She had other consistent appearances on some other shows. She did a production of Chicago with Lucy Lawless, which is quite a review from Lucy Lawless.
It's great, it's genius.
I'm an enormous Amanda Billing fan. She's so divine and so incredibly talented.
Until she landed 14 episodes on Ninja Steel. She's done some other stuff throughout the years, and of course now she's back on for 6 episodes as Bajilia Nair. Bajilia has a daughter named Squillia Nair, who is 218 years old, but is still considered a teenager by the standards of this race. This character is voiced by Brooke Williams. Brooke has been on a lot of different things. She was on Shortland Street in 2012 and 2013, which coincidentally are the last years that Amanda was on as well. She played the ever so popular Snowflake character.
You hack off limb, chop people up.
She was in the Shannara Chronicles, 12 Monkeys, and then in 2021, she was in a short called June that was written by Dwayne Cameron. Dwayne Cameron, if you didn't know, is the Mercury Ranger in Power Rangers Operation Overdrive. I have not been able to find a way to watch this anywhere in America, so if anybody knows of a link or anywhere to go, let me know. Every single person in that short actually has been on Power Rangers at one point in time. Now we see Mick Canick, which is awesome. He says that Billy and him are on a researching trip. It'd be interesting to see what exactly they were looking for and why they were on Zordnia at this time. Billy does reference in Once and Always that he is going to go off into space and do some traveling. I've said this a couple times, but I am definitely going to do a whole video on Kelson Henderson. He's an amazing part of Power Rangers history, and he definitely deserves a video to talk about his career and who he is. He's awesome. Done so many things for Power Rangers. Simon Bennett did confirm that there was the possibility of it actually being Ninjor instead of Mick Canick. Now, it would have been awesome to have Ninjor back, but I'm really glad that Kelson got to be on the show because he's awesome. But it would have been really cool if they could have had both Ninjor and Mick Canick, since they're both ninjas, that would be awesome. And it might have made sense that Ninjor was maybe on Zordnia, since he has been known to create powers and Zords of his own. I saw some people going after the whole fact of, why was Billy and Mick on this planet? That seems mighty convenient. If they were anywhere close to that region, I'm sure Billy would have heard something or seen something on a scanner. Billy's a pretty resourceful guy, and so is Mick. Bajilia introduces Zedd to a squid drill. It's this giant floating drill, and it digs into the ground, takes resources from that planet, and creates Sentinels, their sort of henchman version of Squid Ink Inc. When you think about it, it really is a very dark idea that they use the resources of this planet to create an army to take over this planet and strip them of all their resources. Pretty dark. Zedd goes down to the battlefield and he sees Billy and calls him by name. Now, this is a little bit out of canon, honestly, because the first impression was that this was a copy of Zedd in his prime time of evil, which really would have been before he came to Earth, because he was conquering galaxies, destroying planets, all sorts of things. When he came to Earth, he really kind of hit a dead end. He couldn't stop the Rangers. He had the whole Rita thing to deal with, and he didn't really go anywhere, so it doesn't make a lot of sense that he would know Billy. This is something that Simon Bennett admitted in an interview, that they kind of skewed that fact because it just helped them kind of create a better ending for the character. We see Zato and Ion fighting, and Ion instantly starts talking to Zato, telling him he misses him and trying to just give him information about his life because he really misses his friend. Zato and Ion were the only people left of their team, and then when Zato was gone, Ion was pretty much left alone. He went and started his own restaurant and started baking and doing all that stuff, but I'm sure it's really hard to lose the one person you had from your past you could, talk to about things. We see a very big change in Ion pretty instantly in this season, that he is a lot more somber, he's dealing with a lot more, and he isn't that sort of immature child that we kind of saw in Dino Fury. Ollie and Amelia are fighting together. Ollie sees Billy Cranston and he instantly goes, oh, that's Billy Cranston. He owns Cranston Technologies. Now, it's easy to believe that Ollie would be a fan of Cranston Technologies. He's very into technology and anything like that. Billy would really be someone that he worships, because Billy's sort of a celebrity in the world. And of course, there's the people saying he doesn't know who Billy is. How would he know? That doesn't make sense in the canon or the lore. It actually makes perfect sense because Mick, when he came in Dino Fury, he brought them a database of all the Ranger teams that he's researching.
Is a copy of the legendary Ranger database that I've been keeping up to date.
Mick is there on a trip with Billy. He knew who Billy was and he knew who the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers were. Squillia calls down Doudrip, which is a monster who shoots out this poison that is supposed to turn the Power Rangers evil, but not all the Power Rangers, specifically Ollie. Now, this is one thing that did get me a little bit with, well, that doesn't really make sense. How did they know? But then I remembered that Squillia and Bajilia have been working with Scrozzle this whole time, and if Zedd had this poison for Ollie, then he definitely could have said, hey, Zedd had this plan to, turn Ollie evil. I can make a better poison for this. So if there were more episodes, they could have actually explained more of these little details, but it does make sense. It's not like that's some outlandish thing that shouldn't have happened. Ollie being evil was actually an idea because of production. There was a slight chance that Kai Moya might have not been able to be there in person. So what they would have done is had him turn evil, had him only in the suit the whole entire time, and have him do the ADR from Hollywood or from the States. Luckily, he got to be in a lot of it. And I tell you what, Kai Moya is so good at being a villain. He pulls it off so well. My hat's off to him. Great job. And I know it was just really good. He was really believable. Between Ollie and Lord Zedd, they send Zato to another planet through a portal. When they first started talking about Cosmic Fury, I really thought this was going to be more of sort of a Star Trek-y show where they were going to go to Miranoi, they were going to go to Aquitar, they were going to go to all these planets that we know in the Power Ranger lore. And they did kind of hint at that. I mean, I'm pretty sure there were a couple statements put out that said they were going to travel to KO35, Miranoi, Aquitar. That was probably what they were planning on if they had a full 20 episode season, which they obviously didn't. So they probably had to cut a lot of that stuff out if they were planning on doing it. The Red Morphin Master comes along and gives Mick his powers back. So awesome to see that. So awesome to see Mick become the Red Ranger again. I love it. And this is really a call for fans who aren't just Mighty Morphin fans, but have been with the show for a long time. The Morphin Masters being captured, there were some people who, of course, said, this is dumb. There's no way they could be captured. They're too powerful, blah, 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 blah. But it really needed to happen because if they had the Morphin Masters with them the whole time, it would have been really hard to have a villain so powerful that even the Morphin Masters couldn't have stopped them. This also raises the stakes that, hey, if something happens to our powers, we can't just call the Morphin Masters to repair them like they did before. So it really does make sense with the story. It also makes sense because the Morphin Masters admitted to basically just being cowards for centuries because they were being hunted down and killed. So they just stopped going out basically and being seen so that, they protected themselves. So they're definitely not invincible. They established that in Dino Fury. Morphin Master Red is voiced by Daryl Hadbracken. This guy has a voice that honestly could sell anything.
Look at us. We have a big picker because that's literally what it's called.
Staycation. Join the fight for delectable genitalia.
What?
Just stop.
He's been a part of Power Rangers before too. He voiced the narrator in Ninja Seal.
To keep the universe safe from the monster Galvanax.
He was also the Kingsman #2 in Super Mega Force.
We have a gift from the Emperor.
The Red Morphin Master throws his staff down to Javi before he gets sucked into the tube, and then Javi sees a vision of the altar of Zordnia. The Rangers get out of there to get to this altar. They obviously need some sort of way to fight these people. They need Zords, so this is the answer. And it's interesting at this shot because we have lost our Red Ranger. We've lost Zato. We've also lost our Blue Ranger, Ollie. He's been turned evil, and they've been replaced at this point by the Red Ninja Steel Ranger and the Mighty Morphin Blue Ranger. We get a shot of Ollie in the squid drill. Now we find out that Ollie's intelligence is really a big weapon at this point. I think they were probably scanning for Power Ranger powers being morphed, and Ollie said no, scan for body heat, knowing that they probably would unmorph to not be detected. And when Ollie arrives, they're a bit shocked that they found them so fast because of Ollie's intelligence. The squid drill isn't just a big ship, it actually turns into a sort of Zord on its own. After a fair warning from Billy, Javi still runs over and puts the staff in the altar, resulting in releasing the Zords, but also resulting in Javi losing his arm. This is a pretty huge deal for musicians. I mean, I'm a drummer and a guitar player, and I am constantly in fear that if I ever lost a limb, I would literally lose my job because I do music at a church. So I would be in a lot of trouble if that happened. And I really want to talk about this subject because, man, has there been a lot of negativity towards Izzy. It's weird how many people are just so aggressive about the fact that she's protective of Fern. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that anybody would be upset that she's trying to protect somebody. That's what Power Rangers do, let alone someone they love. But let's take a quick look at what she's going through currently at this exact moment.
Javi! My arm.
Before any of you start bashing on this scene and say the acting's terrible, let's just do a little clip from a movie called The Fall Guy, starring Jason David Frank.
Where the heck is my leg?
Yeah, so don't be bashing this, okay? It's actually pretty good. These guys are great actors. Stop acting like they suck. I hate that. I don't know why people keep doing that. Anyway, back to the video.
He's going into shock. You are gonna be okay. Yeah?
Get him away from this fight.
Hang in there. What about Javi's arm? Can we help him?
Something like this, it can't be reversed.
But he uses both hands to play guitar.
She just watched her brother lose her arm and for a split second thought he probably was dead. She lost their mentor and leader Zato for the second time. Her friend Ollie just got turned evil, and now she's instantly jumping into battle and driving a Zord that she's never driven before. It's a lot to process, so it's amazing that people can act like, how come she's being so protective? How is she being like this? She's kind of going through a lot, guys. Okay? Like, give her a break. All right, she's just trying to do the right thing. The Zords are released, and Amelia steps up and says, we got to have someone pilot the Lion Zord. She does. Of course, that is the Red Zord, foreshadowing her becoming the Red Ranger later on. Billy is in the Wolf Zord, which is an Injeti reference, which is awesome.
Billy, you are the wolf, cunning and swift.
Now, they're trying to give Ollie the option of backing down so they can take him peacefully, but he will not. Amelia teleports into the squid drill. She uses the snooze dino key, which makes Ollie sleep, also makes the Sentinels sleep, which means that these are beings that actually live. They're not just robots.
It's alive! It's alive!
Oh, Jesus Christ.
We see Lord Zedd on his mega squid drill. We see Inkworth, who speaks for the first time. Inkworth is voiced by Chris Howden. This is his very first credit on IMDb. Although he's done some voices for commercials and stuff, this is the first thing as far as a show that I have any evidence of. Squillia pops up and tells them that the Rangers captured Ollie. Back at Dino Hinge, we see Mick and Billy, of course. Tarek is there, who seems to be a new leader of the Rafconians. Dr. Akana is there. Pop Pop. Now, all these actors have really impressive careers and interesting things about them. I've covered all of these people at some point in my Dino Fury breakdown episodes. I've done 6 so far. Maybe after Cosmic Fury, I'll go back and do some more because they're really fun to get to know these characters. But I encourage you to go check those out if you're liking this sort of video and learning all these details about all these actors. There's a lot of people hating on Pop Pop being there too. Like, what does he have to do with this? But let's just remember he's not he's not like incompetent. He saved a little girl, Amelia or Alien, and he raised her as his own child. I mean, come on, that's pretty noble. I don't think we should just write him off as like, oh, he's Pop, he shouldn't be there. Everybody's sort of arguing, and Amelia takes control of the conversation and starts getting everybody on the same page, once again showing her becoming this leader that they all need. Mick says that he's put out word to all the other Ranger teams that they should be ready for an attack. I really wish they would have had a few shots of just different teams fighting Sentinels. I know that budget is a problem. I don't expect to do too much with budget, but they could have just dressed up the same stunt actors in all the different suits, or a couple different suits, and had a few shots of them fighting Sentinels. That would have been a cool touch. But I understand that, time restraint too might have been a problem here. And of course, people would just complain that the real actors weren't there, but okay. Lastly, I want to point out our new voice of Lord Zedd. Of course, Robert Axelrod died September 7th, 2019. He was the original voice of Zedd, and so we can't have the beloved voice of Lord Zedd from the 90s. So we've had different actors over the years. But for Cosmic Fury, we have a brand new actor to Power Rangers, although he isn't a new actor. His name is Fred Tatasciore. Now, that's probably not the right pronunciation. I'm so sorry. But everybody knows him because he is famous for playing Gas Squatch in Blaze and the Monster Machines.
What?
Okay, maybe he's not famous for that. My kid watches that show, so when I saw that he was Gas Squatch, I'm like, Gas Squatch, right there. But he's been in an impressive 932 projects. That is insane. And just as a reference, I'm going to throw up some of the most famous voice actors, currently is the cast from Critical Role. And as you can see, none of them come close to the amount of projects he's been a part of. Now, that could be that maybe they were longer running characters on projects, so they didn't do as many, and maybe he just does so many little characters that is why. But it's still impressive that he's been in so many different things. And if you scroll through his IMDb page, you will definitely see a ton of things that you're going to be surprised he was in. But one thing that a lot of people would know is that he is actually the voice of Space Mountain and all the Disney theme parks. That's pretty cool, right? I like that. He's an actor based out of America. It looks like after all the nastiness towards Andrew Lang, who did the voice of Zedd in Dino Fury, maybe they just wanted to get it out of New Zealand and get somebody else to do it. I don't know. I really never hated on Andrew Lang's take on it, but a lot of people were really nasty about that. So it was really disappointing that Andrew got treated that way. I have a whole video about that. And I think if you watch that video, you'll definitely see how wonderful of a person he is and how sad it really was that people weren't treating him very well. He's been in Power Rangers. He's done some really iconic voices for Power Rangers. So it's really sad. But with everything leaving New Zealand, this would have kind of been the last chance of having him on the shows. I love doing these type of videos. I don't know if they're too specific or what, but if you like them, I'm going to have my playlist of all the Dino Fury / Cosmic Fury episode breakdowns that I've done. I love them. It's fun to do, but check them out. They're really fun. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.